Congratulations, you have completed and sent the CMA email to your prospective seller client. Now let's talk about other things you should be doing before you head to the listing appointment. So I prepped 2 forms of all of my listing documents before I ever head to a listing appointment, all right? I don't want my prospective client being ready to make a move, or we're at a critical point in our conversation where I should be whipping out listing documents. I'm not prepared. You have to have this stuff prepared in advance. I prepare a paper copy in advance, right? And then I also prepare a digital copy in my signing software, okay? So as a Michigan EXP agent, a broker, we use Remine. I'm gonna clip in a video here at the end, but long story short, I think you should prepare paper and digital copies of all listing documents that you may need so that you are prepared to actually succeed in your listing appointment, get the listing, get it locked up, all right? If you're an EXP Michigan agent, you want to see how I do this, keep watching. I'm going to clip in a video of how I do it personally. All right, everybody, we are going to talk about how to prepare listing documents in Remine Docs. There's 2 ways to do it. We can go straight through Remine Docs, or we can go straight through the listing. Let's do it this way today. So we're going to go to Remine Documents. Remember, we've just got the listing appointment. We've already done the CMA email. Now we are pre-prepping the listing documents in anticipation of winning this listing. So let's just do this one. We're going to keep with the theme here of the house that I just posted a couple hours ago, Ferris Ave. Okay, so it's going to auto-populate your seller's information, right? If it doesn't for whatever reason, then you need to check and make sure that your seller is the actual owner of this house, because this is going to pre-populate based on public record. I always make sure that this person's name is spelled correctly and that there's an updated email there. Again, Nicole's already in my system because I've already done past transactions with her. If you have to add somebody, all you have to do is just write, whoever, write their name, hit enter, and then you'll be able to add an email address. Pretty intuitive here. It's important to get this person's contact information here correct immediately so that it pre-populates throughout the rest of the listing documents. I'm going to hit next. Here's my biggest suggestion to you is you need to take the time, if you haven't done so already, and go in the package library and create all of these packages, okay? Let's see, these are the 4 that I have made for myself. I'm just going to dive into the listing package that I have created. Again, what this does is it really just allows me to not have to search for all of these documents one by one here, right? Like exclusive right to sell. So instead of having to look for them one by one, I've already put them in a package. You are going to be required to turn in these 6 documents for every single listing at eXp Realty through SkySlope. If you're on the Bastinelli team, then we have a transaction coordinator, and they're going to put your stuff in SkySlope for you, but you have to have these documents. So you cannot turn them into our TC. She or he will not begin to process them until you give them all the documents. Let's go through them quickly here. Exclusive right to sell. This is a wildly important document. Actually fill out everything, okay? So put in their actual address. I'm going to fly through this, so, fill it out fully. Actually put a phone number for them here. It's wildly important. Like, there was an agent who did a ton of business at eXp who had passed away in the past and didn't have contact information on their documents. And so the state brokers had to try and track these people down. So make sure you actually put in a phone number here so that eXp will process it. This is the day the agreement is made, okay? So this is today's date right now. This right here could either be today's date or the date you actually plan to bring it to market, okay? So say I was bringing it to market next Tuesday, as coming soon, going live next Saturday. I'd want it to be the day that it's actually going on the MLS if I'm not putting today. At this point in the market, everything I'm doing is 6 months. I wasn't counting while I was talking to you, so hopefully that was 6 months, but do 6 months. Click the appropriate box here. I know this one is a home. Before I go to the listing appointment, I leave these blank, okay? Inclusions and exclusions, but while I have a video with you here, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of this. Read this, okay? Know what's actually being included in the purchase agreement because it should be included in real life. This is eventually going to look like refrigerator, stove, dishwasher, washer, and dryer. Oh, I missed microwave. Stuff like that, okay? Exclusions. This would be anything like common things would be like ring doorbell, security system, heirloom chandelier in dining room, curtains, blind, or whatever, not blinds, blinds would be surprising, curtains and curtain rods. These are all things that come up very frequently. Again, I am not pre-filling out these two sections before I get to the listing appointment. I will do that last minute with them, but I just wanted to talk to you about it because it's wild. It's really important to have this discussion. Things can change from here on the listing agreement because this document is just between you and seller. But when you do eventually accept an offer, it's wildly important that you make sure your inclusions and exclusions are accurate. Okay, I listed this house at 325, so we're just going to continue using this example. If your seller thinks they might need occupancy post-close, this is where you'd put it. Currently, as of today's date, 60 days of occupancy post-close is the max allowable when a purchaser is using financing, when they're getting money from like a bank, a lender of some sort, okay? So if there's any occupancy, I just put the max of 60 days, and then I always put in 1/30th PITI. This is 1/30th principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Basically what I'm saying is the seller has up to, or they're asking or wanting up to 60 days in the house after closing, and they are willing to pay up to 1/30th of the buyer's future mortgage payment, okay? So it's important to know here, like, this is not an agreement between the seller and the buyer, okay? This is just you and the seller building out your relationship and what is possible. You're not committing them to having to pay. You might be able to get it for free for them. Commission, it's whatever you agreed upon, but for me, typically 6%. Let's see, this is my protection period. 90 days is the standard. Some people write 180, but 90 is what I write on all of mine. This is basically just stating that if anybody purchases, like say my listing expires, my timeline to sell the house here up top. All right, if this listing expires or for whatever reason, me and the seller part ways, if somebody purchases the home within 90 days of my contract ending, they purchase it as a result of my marketing, okay? Then I would still be due a commission, right? So it'd be like if they conducted a showing during my time period and then they came back, if they found it from my marketing material, social media ads, something like that, okay? Difficult to track, but 90 days is the norm. Default, if there's a default on a future transaction, I'm not keeping any of their EMD. I split commission evenly personally with the buy side, so it's 6% here, so I would be giving 3%. Let's see, I'm always putting a lockbox on people's doors because I'm not going to go open the door on my own. And then you can leave this blank, but don't forget to fill it out. You need to make sure that your seller is a U.S. citizen. We can totally sell houses for people who are not U.S. citizens. We can help people purchase who are not U.S. citizens. It might change what title company we use, okay? So that is really important. You need to actually ask that question. If you're charging a compliance fee, if you're on the Bassinelli team, as of today, our team compliance fee is $595. This is required. It needs to be legally disclosed, and so it goes there, okay? So that's everything I pre-fill on this document. The rest of the documents are significantly easier. We're going to fly. Okay, we're talking right now about sellers, so I am the seller's agent. I am also a designated agent. What does that mean? Well, there's, as of today, somewhere around 84 or 85,000 agents that work at eXp, and I am the person that's designated for this job. I'm going to put in listing agent because I'm creating this file. It's going to auto-populate my information. My client does not have a relationship with another agent, and I am going to click seller, so Nicole's name will auto-populate. Seller's disclosure, don't ever touch this. Please never, ever, ever fill this out. Don't fill this out. Again, I will just say one more time, don't fill this out for your sellers. This is not your responsibility. Do not take on the liability of filling this out. Don't fill it out for them. They are going to fill this thing out in full on their own. They're welcome to ask you questions, but the directions are wildly, I don't know, they're great. It's a very simple document. They need to fill out every single line. They can click unknown or write unknown as much as needed, but there does need to be an answer for everything here, okay? So nothing can be skipped. There are a few exceptions or ways to get around the seller's disclosure, but they're rare. Usually somebody has to have passed away. Pretty much everybody's got to fill out a seller's disclosure. If you think your person might be exempt, then reach out to the Michigan State Broker Team. As of today, that is Scott Bartlett. That is Nick Coppola and Brian Washington. You can download the Work Chat app and send them a message. Put them all in a group chat and ask them all. Lead-based paint, same theme here. Don't touch this. Your seller needs to check a box here for 1A and 1B, whichever one is appropriate. That is all that's going to happen here. Affiliated Business Disclosure, EXP is a giant organization, huge company. They have financial relationships with the title company. Well, I'm sorry, a title company and a mortgage company. That needs to be legally disclosed. I don't use either of them. If you're on the team, we don't have partnerships with either of those companies, but it needs to be legally disclosed because it's a financial relationship. Wiring fraud for your sellers. If your sellers are ever asked to send a wire, they need to call and confirm before sending anything at all. Sellers, they don't have to send any wires throughout their transaction. Wire fraud is real. They should actually read this. Like, don't skim over that. Wire fraud's real. You don't want to be responsible for that. Anyways, it looks like it double dropped in my listing disclosure my seller's disclosure in lead-based paint. So that was just an accident. This is because this is actually a live listing. So that wouldn't typically show up for you. That's as much as I pre-fill. Just kind of to skip ahead so I don't have to make a separate video. When you're in the listing appointment, you've gone through your flow, the person has committed to signing documents with you for the day. You're just going to fill in the extra little spots that you didn't have done already. So you'll fill in inclusions and exclusions. A note about exclusions, I think pretty much everybody should leave their TV wall mounts. If they pull out wall mounts and don't repair the walls to buyer's liking, that could create some issues. So it's not worth the cost of a $50 wall mount to me at all. So you'll make sure to mark that. You're going to make sure in person to ask them if they're a citizen. And then once you're ready, that's really it, to be honest. You're going to make sure they fill out the seller's disclosure on lead-based paint with you. Once they're done, you're going to hit sign, select all, continue. You will sign right on the spot, okay? I guess I'll just show you what that looks like, just so that you can see from our side. All right, I'm going through, I'm signing all this stuff. Wonderful, wonderful, great. I'll hit done. And then I'm not gonna send this out all the way, but I will show you what it looks like when you do send it out, like how you send it out to clients. Give me 1 second here. Just waiting for this to load. Okay, signature saved successfully. Wonderful news. Come on, buddy, update. We're gonna hit sign again, select all. If the seller's sitting right next to you, you can hit sign right now. What you would do is you'd hit sign right now. You're gonna hand over your laptop to that person. They're gonna click I confirm, they'll hit done, and then they'll sign just like I did. If for whatever reason you're not actually with them, you'd hit select all, continue, continue. You'd hit send to sign. You'd click the person's name and then you'd hit send. I'm not going to do that because this document it's already on. This house is already listed. So thanks for watching.